questions and concerns that have been bugging me. I am a veteran, a compensated pension veteran of the United States military.
Okay, and what is your question?
My question is, I know this may or may not be off topic, but what is, like, if there is a person that is special needs in the family or immediate family, or in this case one of my friends, I'm wondering that if we choose to have a family, does the pension and claims department cover that?
Okay, so that would be a question for VBA for benefits.
Oh.
I can answer you over there if you like.
No, another question that I have is, as far as signals and statements that I have been hearing throughout just the general populace, one is service debt that was played over the loudspeaker in the grocery store. Every single time I go into it, it says, "Oh, to service debt." And I don't believe this is the case, because the federal government has given me over $100,000. I'm not saying that in jest or in fun or bragging. I'm just saying that in reality. Also, I don't want my friend, and it's a female, her getting pulled over or harassed at all because of statements she's making. And I'm concerned about her getting pulled over and harassed, and I don't think that is the case, but I also don't agree with swinging, like that type of behavior. I think that's kind of a psychological mix-up, or eventually it will cause a psychological breakdown, or in other words, a karmic imbalance. So, I mean, I don't really know how to, as a man and a human being, these are my concerns that I'm bringing to the table. Also, I am concerned with a group, whether my friend is in the group or not, them coming after me and trying to force their medical doctrine on me, whether they have fitness issues themselves, whether their coping strategies aren't the best, smoking cigarettes or yelling, and these are coping strategies that people have for stress, but they're not the best coping strategies. Not getting enough exercise, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day to 2 hours a day, not getting exercise, and then having issues with their stomachs that are visible issues, but they proceed to say that this unseen issue, this issue that you can't see, is a bigger issue than visible issues pertaining to body mass index. And that's a concern I have, is that, and that's a complaint I have, is that the Department of Veterans Affairs is supposed to be one of the best hospitals in the United States of America, servicing our prior service members and service members. And the complaint that I have is before they make statements about me and my physical state, and to get an exact, detailed analysis of my body, they would have to take a body fat caliber test to make that statement. Hello? Madam? Hello? And in 22. This is a call to the VA crisis line. Yes, hello?
Hi, I'm sorry, but I don't know if your phone disconnected or I couldn't hear you anymore, sir. My name is Deborah with the Veterans and Military Crisis Line, so I'm sorry. I know you were talking about group, about people smoking and coming after you in group. Well, that's the last thing I heard.
Yes, my complaint or concern that I'm having is the people that are complaining about me, they could potentially complain, and their coping strategies as the group is very negative or self-defeating behaviors, but they say this is a way for them to cope with everyday stress and everyday life. But in retrospect, I feel like I could be a target, because I would say, like, to a friend, like, oh, I'm having a little bit of depression issues because I'm attached to you, and I love you, but there's issues there that I'm not going to say, but there's issues that are concerning me, so that's why I'm depressed. Or I'm concerned because they have me drive 30 miles or 40 miles, and I drive, and then I go there and to the hospital, and then they ask me, you know, do you want to take medicine? I say, no, I'm against medicine, because of people who I know took their medicine and they still died prematurely. They took all the medicine that was prescribed and they still died prematurely. So in this case, it didn't work. It didn't save their life. And I don't want to be in the same category or boat as them. In this case, the exercise program of heavy exercise is appropriate because this is a strategy that requires more effort, more determination and discipline, and is more corrective than a temporary fix like medication would or would not be. So, in this case, it's more correct for me as an individual, for me as a person. Also, another concern I have is concern about a belly or gaining a little bit of belly fat in my midlife, and the VA is not testing the belly fat. They're not doing what they did to me in high school and college athletics with the fat caliber. They're not pinching that and pinching the scapula fat and doing this on the spare tire. They're not doing this, and this may be adding to my depression because I've gained a little bit of weight, or I've lost muscle in my chest and shoulders, or I'm not as strong as I once was, or something like that. Deborah?
Okay. So, yes, sir. Have you talked to your primary care about wanting to be checked for belly fat?
I've wrote a counsel through my Healthy Vet, and there was no response because they kept coming up with things that were not tangible. They were intangible things. And that's what I had an issue with, is because they were coming up with things that weren't there. You have this issue, but this issue is not a visible issue. We can't see this as a visible issue. This is not factual. This is very opinionated. That's the issue that I have. And what has happened is that indoctrination, that those diagnoses have hurt my life substantially, because you get a person that is physically able and wants to have a purpose-driven life. When I say purpose-driven life, it's a life for God. It's a life for Allah and Yahweh. And this is the life of the Great Spirit in coexistence with the omnipresent natural force that we experience throughout our daily lives and so on and so forth. The issue that I'm having in correlation with biblical concepts and Quranic concepts within Islam, are that in the book of Corinth it says the non-believers do not talk about these gifts that are given, or these passions that are given to you, with non-believers, because non-believers will surely say to you, you are crazy, you are this, that, and the other thing. In any case, I feel like I'm ostracized, or I haven't been treated fairly inside these contexts of, well, now people don't know exactly what I can do. They only are viewing me behind closed doors in a very sheltered outlook, in a very sheltered environment, and it's very limiting. In that case, I can't experience the world, so I can't experience any God's gifts in my life. And in that case, then I would surely be what they are saying, because I have an active imagination, and I'm not able to express that inside their confines. And that's what I'm experiencing. I have experienced more spiritual gifts inside of Islam than I have experienced inside Christianity, unfortunately. Whether there's because of the society's differences, whether it's the Americanization of the use of the television and video games, or no television and no video games, and the onset of being forced to speak in different manners and different ways to people, or, the priorities of the different cultures. I am not culturally conflicted in the sense of this is hurting my outlook on life, but I have a confliction because I feel throughout history there has been a large group wanting a conflict there. And I have experienced a group that these groups don't talk to each other, and they're saying bad things about this group, yet they don't talk to that group. This group's saying bad stuff about this group, yet they don't talk to that group. And they don't go in each other's places, but they're both saying bad stuff about each other, and they don't know anybody from that group. They're just solely going off of propaganda.
Okay, so man, do you have a group leader?
Like what? A group leader like what?
Okay, so are we talking about, are you active in a group, in a therapy group or any kind of group?
Well, the group that I was in was judo for. They said that this is confidential information, so I'm not allowed to speak about these groups openly anymore.
Okay. Okay. Because I was going to say, if you're having any kind of issues or complaints in your group, the group leader is the person that you should address any kind of concerns or complaints or questions that you're having, or you feel like something's not right or you're not being treated right. Just let the group leader know and see how they can help you.
This is the issue, is not having intellectual or inability to articulate my speech on a scholarly level. It's an issue that I'm having, because whether or not I can affect or enrich somebody's life by the way I speak is that I don't have that persona or that field or platform to do so. They're not letting me. In that case,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, in that case, I'm not able to, if this is God's purpose in my life at this age, and ignite the spirit or start a fire for God, and that's not a literal sense, it's a spiritual sense, or nashar al-taqwa min Allah, spread the way of God to people. So this is not, this is very disturbing, or it's hurting me, because what's happening, even I find in my personal life, my own father is preaching these things to me that are very negative, that aren't necessarily true, and the result is I feel frustrated at him as a person. I care about him. I respect him as a person. I feel frustrated at him as a person because he smokes cigarettes. He can't watch UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championship, and I will kick his ass. What kind of man is he to criticize me in that manner? And why are they... What?
I'm sorry, Lisa. Do you live there?
No, I don't live with he's 800 miles away. Or he's 3,000 miles...
Do you have any intentions of...
He's 3,000 miles away.
Okay, do you have any intentions of wanting to harm or kill your father?
No, but but I think people want that. I think people are producing that. I think overtly that's what people want. Also,
to hurt your father?
Also, there is pins in his jacket.
What?
There are pins, sharp pins, like pins in his jacket. Oh. Hello?
Why is that? Why are there sharp pins in his jacket?
The day before, my bike tires were popped. Both of them. And then he wears a jacket with the sharp pins because he doesn't like me riding a bicycle.
So you think he popped your tires and he's how many miles away, or?
My issue is that he never raised me as a man, but I respect his culture, I respect his religion, I am some of his religion. And all audiences listening, or secretly, overtly, I do agree with a lot of aspects in his religion, but I don't agree with if he popped the tires on the bike. I don't agree with that. Also, I don't...
When did your tires... I'm sorry. When did your tires get popped?
The day before he had that on his... The day before he was wearing that sweatshirt with the pins.
Okay, so how long ago was that?
That was weeks ago, a month ago or so. So,
okay, a month ago.
yeah.
So you were around your father at that time?
Yeah.
Or around your... Oh, okay. With your body?
What? No,
A month ago, were you around?
It's fine, because I drove the car after that. That's fine. So, I mean, the issue that I have is that I have frustrations for him for saying the federal government has paid you money because you're mentally deranged or you're broken. And he can't fight his way out of a box. And I cleaned up his house, and I care about him, and I made the effort to see him time and time again. And I said, this is my name. This is me. I'm Bellucci like you. I am not scared, so this is me. That's what I am. Why are you saying these mean and disgusting things to me? Because I don't do that to you. And the other issue is I have issues because I was a soldier and I carried a guidon, the flag. I went to the war in Iraq, but when I came back, he was producing and manifesting things that were very negative about the military and very negative about me as a human being. And then my uncle, started manifesting the same things to me. And people were encouraging him to do that, have that behavior to me. And this is the case, is that either they are going to be real Pakistani warrior and fight me, the half-breed, the warmonger, the macho man, or they can leave on an equal playing field with honor, with respect, and that's the case. This is the issue that I'm having because for a large amount of my life, I've studied martial arts, and prior to the studying of martial arts, they said I couldn't see, I wore glasses. And whether my stepfather touched me on the head and enlightened my spirit, I didn't have to wear glasses as soon as I started martial arts and I started learning how to control my pupils, my own pupils. And this is what I'm having issues with, is because the system is saying they're not telling me or producing or manifesting thoughts like that inside me. They're manifesting very general things without specific detail that lack critical information for the betterment of people's lives. And that's the issues that I'm having with the system. I'm also having issues inside the system is now the system can do tons of abortions, and these people had sex, and sometimes it's justified, but a lot of times, more so than not, it's not justified, and now they're killing a whole bunch of kids. So this is the issue that I'm having inside the medical system. I'm also having other issues, and that's assisted suicide in the state of Oregon.
Okay, so man, can I ask you something? Are you in any kind of crisis today that I can help you with right now today?
I want you to have a great life, and I want to bring topics and things that are controversial to your mind so you can understand what situation I'm going through as a human, as a man, and as a person that lives on the earth under one sovereignty, God, the Allah, the Almighty, the Omnipresent. Because no one else will let me speak, and no one else will let me listen. and I'm a believer, and I believe in Christ, and I was born a Christian, but I converted to Islam because of these simple facts.
Okay, so they do have Bible study groups that you can talk and share all of those great things that you want to talk about in Bible study.
I am not a Christian.
They have all kind of groups that, excuse me?
I'm not a Christian.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you said that you were a Christian.
I was brought up a Christian, but I converted to Islam because inside Christianity I found many stereotypes and many hypocrisies. Because of economic levels. And I still found hypocrisies and stereotypes inside of Islam.
Okay, well, they have groups, even with Islam. No matter what Christianity or religion you're following, they all have individual groups. You can call 211 on your phone. You can also Google that information to see what kind of group is online right now that you can join to share all of that with.
Well,
there's tons of groups out there that people want to talk about their beliefs, and what they follow, things of that nature.
Yes, ma'am. But what I'm having trouble with is that now I don't follow. I look to a book for insights and truths, but I don't look to any physical book with the sight of this is God's will, this is God's word. Because it's written by man, these are good books, but now I look to nature and I listen to the wind, I watch the animals, and I watch the wind, how it blows and moves things around, and this is much more gratifying to me, and breathing the natural air in and out of my lungs than the book, these books written by man are. I look truly at the soul of the man, regardless of the religion.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. Okay, so, man, are you having any thoughts of suicide tonight?
I never would do that, miss. And I don't want to be set up. And I don't want my girlfriend to get pulled over.
Okay, why would your girlfriend get pulled over?
I don't know. But she has a person inside that's having troubles, and she's having troubles, and I care about her, and I care about her spirit and soul, and I love her. But
okay, that's a good thing. Now, is she a veteran?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to call her if she is any kind of trouble?
No. I don't want you to call her now.
Okay. Now, man, I'm going to go ahead and, if you would like, I can transfer you over to our Vets for Warriors, where you can talk about what veterans like to talk about. I can also give you their number so you can call them at your leisure. But I do encourage you to call 211 and also to Google your belief in your religion to see what kind of groups they have out there, so you can, fulfill your dreams of being able to hear and talk about what you want to talk about with your beliefs. Okay? So 211, Google Islam groups, social Islam groups. You can do that. You can Google that. And I'm sure you're going to come up with a whole lot of information that you're going to be excited about.
Yes, ma'am, but I have one more thing to say. I do not agree with extremists. I do not agree with terrorism. And I'm fighting the ideology of that. And I'm also willing to physically fight these people, but this is in an honorary system. Because the world isn't always that way, but I'm just letting you know I've devoted a large amount of my time to stop extremism and even stop the thought process.
Okay, well, just be careful, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, would you give us a call again in the future should you find yourself in crisis or need support?
Yes, of course.
All right, you take care of me. Okay, are you needing for me to submit a consult to your VA, which we call a suicide suicide prevention coordinator consult. You don't have to be suicidal, but if you're needing mental health support, I can do that for you if you like.
No, I just hope this isn't a slippery slope. Because it's not.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad it's not either. It's not a slippery slope here. It's all the way up from here when you can talk to us to get you connected to services, okay?
Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. You take care and be safe.
Have a great day.
And you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.